may be trying to stabilize the energy situation in the country and, of course, the state of the economy. But critics are far from believing these interventions will make any difference whatsoever. Already, concerned Ghanaians for responsible governance, the organizers of the Occupy Flagstaff House protest are threatening to embark on another strike or demonstration if the government fails to address concerns listed in their petition. You remember, the group on July 1 embarked on a street protest against the harsh socio-economic conditions facing Ghanaians. They presented a petition to the presidency, which the president promised to address. But the group, in a statement signed by the executive secretary, George Kojo Anti, indicates that since their widely publicized protest on July 1, not much has been done to address the concerns which were presented to the presidency, hence their decision for another protest. Now, that is not all they did. They also established the weekly Red Friday, a silent protest to press home their demands until they are met. On Friday, August 8th, the group wants Ghanaians to wear red to push the government to take more robust steps to fight corruption, as well as limit the opportunities for public officials to be corrupt. The group also wants citizens to pressurize government to address genuine and salient issues concerning the education sector. So, why should there be a protest when government has already signed the Millennium Challenge Compact? You're going to see some improvement in the energy sector. We hear the Atuabo is coming alive in a bit. And I'm wondering why we still faced with something like this. Nana Sapon Ajiman is Executive Secretary of the Concerned Ghanaians for Responsible Governance. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Correction, I'm one of the deputy organizers.
You're a deputy organizer, yeah. Right. Thank you very much for that. Aren't you people being troublesome?
No, not at all. We are playing our role as citizens. We are supposed to keep governments on their toes at every point in time. From the very first time the government is sworn into office to start, government should be working from that very first day. So we are not being troublesome at all. We are playing
I have asked that question. I've posed it to some of your members before. I get the same response you're giving me now. But the point is, we see some change coming through. I mean, at least after Occupy Flagstaff House, we've seen the MCA come through. We're told that the Atuabo Ghana Gas project is almost complete, almost 100% complete, and we should see it come alive later this year. Those are some of the changes you were looking for.
Yeah, we are happy about the Atuabo gas project coming online, coming on stream. I mean, it's going to help address some of the issues in our petition about the power sector. I mean, when Akosombo was commissioned, Ghanaians were excited, you know, for a while till we went to crisis. Then came the thermal plant. We were excited for a while. Then we went into crisis again. And then Bui Dam came. We were excited and went to crisis again. So with this one coming in, we hope that our excitement, we know it can't be 100% efficient. There definitely be lapses, but our excitement should last longer than the periods that the thermal plants came in and Bui Dam came in. So we are very happy that Atuabo has come, and these are some of the things that we like to see happen.
So why won't you just cut government some slack, at least for a period of time? Then we see when we start seeing the results of these things, we move into action again.
It doesn't only cover energy sector. You know, governance is it's a wide range. It involves education, health, infrastructure, everything. So if some part is doing well, we should also push that they should also work in other sectors. For instance, this POTAC issue. Now it keeps dragging, and our students are still at home. You know, I don't think that any of the government officials would be happy if any of them was their child who was staying at home all this period, whilst their teachers are on strike. So we're going to push on all sectors. Besides, our petition involved a long list, longer than that, for corruption, retrieval of all judgment debts. We know that in about 1 year, it's been about a year now since Supreme Court ordered that the government should retrieve money paid to Waterville, and we still haven't heard anything from government. So it covers a whole range. So we are happy about Atuabo. we're hoping that this IMF bailout would go in a way to help. We're waiting to see how best they utilize it, because we've gone to IMF.
But if you can take the posture of wait and see, you just couldn't take your time to call for another protest. Just think about that for a few seconds, and then joining the conversation is Dr. Opoku-Edu. He's a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. Hello, Doc.
Hello.
You're welcome to the program, Doc.
Thank you.
So when we seem to be seeing some strides in governance, and protests, on the other hand, won't stop or go anywhere anytime soon. How do we align the two? What sense do we make of the two?
Well, thank you. I think that it's a very difficult, problem. In the last year and a half or so, the country has had very difficult economic, problems, the falling cedi and the levels of inflation and so on. Now, in the face of all these difficult problems, there appeared to be no new redemptive initiatives on the horizon. And so people thought that the situation was becoming hopeless. And that is what led many, many people to be speaking against the government and also to demonstrate and so on. Now, what the people who demonstrated and so on wanted to see was is some serious government initiatives to deal with the problem. The Compact Millennium Challenge account is not a Ghanaian government initiative. It's an American initiative by which the American government wants to spend some taxes paid by the American taxpayer, as a grant for Ghana. So it's not a Ghana government initiative. And even if you go to the World Bank and the IMF, they have their own template. You are not going to dictate anything to them. You are all aware. Again, that will take some time. So it seems to me that the people who are demonstrating are not satisfied that the right initiatives are in place that will take us out of the mess we found ourselves in. And so it's a very difficult situation. But my argument is that even if the government did put in place any such initiatives, it will take some time for we to see the result. And I'm sure if the government did, because the person who just spoke before me alluded to the fact that the monies that are to be corrected because they were wrongly paid to some people have they been corrected. People want to see these monies, corrected back to the national coffers. And so there are real difficulties. And I think the major one is to do with the fact that people are still not sure what redemptive initiatives are in place by the government to deal. And until they see that, I'm sure they will grumble and they will continue to demonstrate.
But would it be such a bad idea to cut government some slack?
To do what? Excuse me?
I'm saying, would it be such a bad idea to cut government some slack? At least wait for some of the interventions start working.
Well, yeah, people want to see what happens. But I think that for example, if you take the Millennium Challenge account, the money is coming anyway. And it goes specifically to electricity and so on. Now, that is not, as I've already indicated, a Ghana government initiative. And governing an economy that is in disarray is more than simply taking advantage of such grants and initiatives by the American government and so on. So whilst it is important for people to exercise patience as government puts in place the initiative, the first change must come from the government. That is, the government must put the initiatives in place. Then people can begin to sympathize with it. As I see it, people are not seeing it. People still think that the government is not doing enough to collect the money that were paid wrongly to people. So in other words, the government is not doing enough to fight corruption. If you look at the recent victory that Mumuni won, it has taken the government 6 years to be in court with all the paraphernalia, with all the resources and so on. Now, a single person, an individual, goes to court and within 6 months, he's been able to achieve what the government is unable to do in 6 years or 5 years. So people are really concerned, and I think the concern is genuine, and the government will need to respond by putting in place the appropriate initiatives that would assure people.
In other words, we should continue to protest.
Well, protests are not bad; they are good, and I think that as long as the protest is intended to bring the government on its toes, but as long as the protests are raising very pertinent issues of concern to the ordinary Ghanaians, it should continue. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, in my opinion, it's desirable.
Doc, thank you very much for your time. Dr.
thank you.
Opoku-Edu is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. Now, so then, there's no denying you're not going to cut government any slack at all, in spite of the many interventions we seem to be seeing. We've seen, like you mentioned, the IMF bailouts. We've seen the investment from the MCA into the energy sector, and the likes. It's not going anywhere for you. You're not impressed.
You know, these programs, these IMF programs, are going to be based on conditions set by IMF for us. So in effect, we cannot really dictate so much because they are giving us this money. Millennium Challenge accounts. The Americans are bringing you their money and they are going to direct how their money is going to be used. Our question is, what is being done with our own money? We are rather using it to pay judgment debts and various things.
Do we even have our money? I'm not sure there's our money, because the government has spoken a lot of times about how we seem to be a bit crunched when it comes to that. So that's why we haven't seen some payments being done into some statutory funds until recently. And so perhaps there isn't even our money.
So where does all our taxes go? The consolidated fund. What's happening with it? We are paying road tolls to road fund. What's happening to it? There are money taken from Ghanaians to be going into funds for developmental projects. There are subventions are supposed to be given to senior secondary schools, senior high schools. Where is that money coming from? I don't think these ones should be loans that are coming from international communities to be paying senior secondary school education, provision of chalk.
Let's go through it again. What were the list you put in the petition? Taxes.
Yeah, it involves effective collection of taxes. We keep on saying they have to expand our tax net, but what is being done to expand our tax net? We always hear the same things about, we have education. Look at what's happening in education as of now. School fees are really going high. Senior high schools are threatening to close down. We all know what's happening with the polytechnics, which have been closed for 3 months, which shouldn't be the case. Staying at home for 3 months. Issues of corruption, galamsey, which is ongoing, you know. I mean, we have heard a lot of things. Government keeps talking and talking and talking. They have set up a galamsey task force to be clamping down on illegal miners. But we do not see anything. So we're going to push government, and we are going to use our Red Friday campaign.
I see.
To keep pushing.
I see. So we're not going to see a protest like we did on July 1?
We have something on standby, and at the appropriate time, we would roll out the plans for that. But for now, we are going to keep on with our Red Friday campaign. Let all Ghanaians wear any red accessory on themselves. It could be a red African traditional wear or anything.
I see. Thank you very much, Nana. Nana Sapon Ajima is Deputy Organizer for the Concerned Ghanaians for Responsible Governance. Let's turn